My name is Amir, and today I will be talking to you about data sovereignty and how important it is to create sovereign data sets, to create sovereign AI systems, and AI systems without dependency on big tech like Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, and, well, all the other names you probably are aware of. So let me start with this one, and very important one. AI is not objective. AI is also not critical. AI is only as good as the data it's built upon. So essentially it comes down to the same thing as raising a kid. If you don't raise that kid, it will probably end up with another podcast. And we really don't need more of those. So it's very important for you to create sovereign data sets. Just for your understanding who I am here today, my name is Amir. I've been working at Sovereign European Cloud Infrastructure for the last 4 years to create an alternative for big tech and to create a strong European Union with no dependency on what we used to call our allies. So, just to get a little bit of a history class today, I'm going to take you around the last 25 years of internet and why it got as big as it was, for us to understand why sovereignty is as important as I feel that it is. So, internet became available to the public, mainly to share information freely and to create spaces where we were all more equal. And before we knew it, instead of researching, we started Googling, allowing us to get information handed to us instead of searching for it and get a better understanding of why certain information is the way it is. That ended up today for us as humans to process roughly up to 64 gigabytes of data a day. Just for your perspective, the beginning of the 19th century, an average human processed 1 megabyte of data. And even at the end of the 20th century, we were talking 5 to 10 mbits of data a day. So we went from megabytes to gigabytes in less than a generation. Internet was free, right? Because we could all use it. But now we learned the thing that we paid with was our data. Suddenly, social media was created. I mean, I remember the BlackBerry. I don't know if anybody here still remembers the BlackBerry and the pinging. I always call that the start of social media. Shortly after we had the iPhone, shortly after we had WhatsApp, and suddenly we were all glued to a tiny screen, allowing corporations and big tech corporations to gather information about us and our behavior, which can go as far because that's the fundament of any cloud platform that we use today. So no matter what type of information you're using on a platform, be it healthcare data, be it personal data, be it your governmental data, they gathered it. So without actively registering, huge amounts of data were gathered and processed without our, well, let's say, active consent. Phone addiction was created, more data was created, no more control over data, and in very human behavior, our enthusiasm took over. And instead of thinking about how to create safe data sets, we just went along. So to get a little bit of understanding, we have two worlds today, the digital one and the physical one. But only the digital one has influence on the physical one, and the physical one doesn't really have that much influence on the digital one. However, everything that happens in the digital world has an effect in the physical world, but the other way around doesn't really work that much. So, I'm going to be very dramatic right now. Data essentially is everything. Information is used to train and to learn and to get us from point A to B quicker. Without data, there would be no tech, there would be no adopt AI, there would not be no cloud, there would not be blockchain, crypto, your app you use to get from point A to B, Google Maps. I can go on and on and on. When the information that is shared is controlled by just a few organizations, the narrative of that conversation will always fit the controllers. And when it's a small group of corporations, not organizations, but corporations with a very much profit aspect to their business, they have very much influence in what happens to us as a society, because the only thing that we see is what they allow us to see. So imagine what we don't see. And that essentially means that they own your data, they can steer you in that direction, and with that, very dramatic, they kind of own you. And that means that I can present you in something I call the dictatorship that is the big tech. Because at the end of the day, does it fit their narrative? No. So they will block it. And it can go from social media all the way to fundamental, let's say LLMs, AI system, healthcare systems, when they don't want you to see certain data. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very honest with you, that should be terrifying. Because adopt AI, I love tech, but when we don't control the foundation and the fundament of it, we're screwed, very honestly. So, data and AI, how do we make sure that we get sovereign AI system? That starts with the conversation, what is sovereign data? Sovereign data is built on what I call 3 pillars: control, compliance, and trust. Control comes down to the fact that you need to control who has access to your data, where your data is, how it is processed, and what you want to do with your data. Compliancy goes from the compliancy of what you as an organization want to do with your data. So as a doctor, you want to see it, discuss it with your patient, all the way to the compliancy from your local legislator or government to see how we can protect our citizens from misuse. And then trust is what rolls after. Because in a world where digitalization is pretty much the foundation of our world, it also means that we can create a world where you can tell your clients that you understand and you have full control over your data, creating trust between you and your clients. What comes out of that is data integrity, data transparency, and data auditability. Integrity means you know where it goes, who has access to it, but also to get a better understanding where, at what point, what data set is changed and in what direction. Specifically with LLMs or AI systems, it goes all really quickly. So you need to be transparent and you need to be able to track it back to every single point without having the, fear of someone else altering your data without noticing or telling you. So, physical placement of hardware infrastructure is important, data governance combined with legislation is important, and technology integration on cloud, AI, or blockchain, and whatever quantum computing we're going to get in the future, very fundamental for the way that we want to work. Which is why I built Apura together with my dad, who's not here today, sadly. What we did is we built a platform with sovereign data as a fundament. So anything you build on that platform, be it as a developer or an end user, the data created on the platform is owned by you. You get a key. You lose that key, sadly, the same way you lose the key to your house, you're gonna have to get a new key. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not interested in getting your data. I'm not interested in reselling your data. The only thing I'm interested in is making sure that your data is safe and used in the correct way. We did that with building EU cloud infrastructure. Right now we're hosting our own bare metals in Frankfurt and in Rotterdam, and we're also expanding into Amsterdam. No foreign government jurisdiction, just local jurisdiction with EU guidelines. So, in that sense, also no US Cloud Act or any other American act that they can use to get free access to your data whenever, anytime they please. Allowing you to get full control and full ownership over your data. We do it with a bunch of our partners in the Netherlands. Nextcloud is one of our partners we use to get collaboration software. SmartDC is our European data center partner. Impact City is the startup incubator in The Hague that we're located. The Dutch government, we do some projects and consultancy firm. The Dutch police, sadly, I'm not allowed to use their logo. We also do some clients with them. So, to show you where we are right now, we have a fully operational collaboration suite that looks a lot like Microsoft Office and Google Drive. We have infrastructure as a service available for deploying, allowing you to build AI systems or any other system on the infrastructure to get full data control and to allow that to be available for your clients as well. We can also consult you in to get data control, to do an analysis on your current data behavior, to become more data sovereign and to come up with a strategy. And we're also fully operational with our partner SmartDC in Rotterdam, also Frankfurt and Amsterdam in a few weeks. So when you are ready to become data independent and create an AI sovereign tool, just come talk to me. I'm with the Dutch Pavilion at, I think it's E6, or just send me an email. Thank you for your time. My name is Amir. Have a good day.